Now, to begin today's video, we actually pick up with Orion. Now, Orion is the son of Highfather. And matter of fact, when it comes to Highfather and Orion, they're both known as new gods. Now, of course, new gods are like Apocalypse, Orion, and Highfather, but they basically live outside of the multiverse, meaning that they're not affected or not supposed to be affected when the multiverse is altered or changed over the years in DC Comics. Except when it came to the New 52. Now, when it comes to Orion, the new god, the son of Highfather, well, you do have Orion right now just beating up some random monsters. Now, this part right here is actually not that important just yet, and the reason why, because it's just Orion beating up some random monsters until his father, Highfather, comes to him and say, hey, listen, we need to have a conversation. I need you to meet me here to show you something very important. And that right there is going to pay off later on in our video. Now, we do pick up with Superman, and we come to find out that this takes place right after the Hell on Earth event that we had just covered. So with that being said, it's right now the US Senate calling Superman to come to talk to them about his Fortress of Solitude, because in the Hell on Earth event, the Fortress of Solitude was used as a way, or was going to be used as a way, to basically destroy the entire solar system so that Hell could go back in time to save Krypton. But word got out to everyone on Earth. And so right now the US Senate feels like that they should have a look at the Fortress of Solitude. They should go inside and actually see all the different kinds of weapons and creatures that Superman is holding inside of it. Because again, the Fortress of Solitude was almost used back in the Hell on Earth event as a way to destroy the Earth. And with that kind of power being on the Earth, the US Senate feels like they should have some kind of right to control it, to watch over it, to protect the Earth. But of course, you have Superman say, no, it's my home. It's for me to go there to get away from you guys. You do not need to worry. If anyone tries to attack the Fortress of Solitude or use the Fortress of Solitude, I will be there to stop it. But you guys have no right to think that you can come to my home and actually control it. Even also on top of that, it's not even on US soil. So technically, you have no right to come at me and thinking that I should give you the ability to access my home. And so you do have Superman leave. Now, that meeting between Superman and the US Senate was being played all over the world, or possibly just in the US. But either way, we do see that the people at the Daily Planet was watching that meeting between Superman and the US Senate. Now, while they were watching that meeting, of course, we get an idea how everyone feels towards Superman, because in the New 52, it was a tad bit different. Before the New 52, you had more people kind of praise Superman, look up to him. But in the New 52, it was almost the exact opposite. You had more people kind of scared of him, wondering if one day he could just go bad and wreak havoc across the entire Earth. But you still had some people out there who actually like Superman, like Jimmy Olsen. Now, with that being said, you do have Perry White get confronted by Morgan Edge. Now, Morgan Edge is the guy who technically owns the Daily Planet, and he does own some other companies in the news world. But either way right now, he's kind of wondering why in the world is he paying Perry White for, because Perry White is the one in charge of the Daily Planet, and he wants to know why Perry White has not sent any reporter out there to talk to Superman or other people involved in that meeting so that they can get some good news and report on it and put it on their papers, their news channels, or websites, wherever. Except you have Perry White mention that Lois Lane is actually already on the case, because we're getting reminded that Lois Lane is no longer a producer for the GBC or the Daily Planet, that now she's back in reporting, and she is right now basically interviewing Superman after that meeting. Now, later that night, we actually do pick up with Clark Kent at a club. Yes, He is at a club, but he's not at a club to basically dance or anything. He's actually at a club to meet someone, and that person is, of course, Cat Grant. Now, Cat Grant is kind of important in the early days of the New 52, and the reason why, because in our last video, right before Hell on Earth, or maybe in the beginning of that storyline, Clark Kent basically quit the Daily Planet. Well, in reality, he got fired by Morgan Edge because he feels like Morgan Edge is not trying to report on real things in the world. It's always just what is popular and that is it, but not trying to report on real problems in the world. And so, of course, he left the Daily Planet. Now, when he left the Daily Planet, Clark Kent did say a few things that did inspire just one person, and that person was Cat Grant. And so technically, they're both out of a job at the moment. And so you have Cat Grant coming to Clark Kent talking about making a blog, making a new blog that could possibly be the next big thing. Now, if you saw our last Superman video, which was Lois Lane going around and trying to figure out who is the 20 in Metropolis from the Brainiac attack, that storyline technically takes place after this storyline, but I went ahead and recorded that video ahead of this one for different reasons. But either way, it is Cat Grant coming to Superman and telling him, hey, listen, I think that you and I should technically get together, make a blog, and we could possibly be the next big thing in Metropolis and make us some money as well. Which, of course, you do have Superman wondering if he should take up on her offer. Except here comes a new problem for Superman, because while he is talking to Cat Grant, well, that is the moment you have a bunch of random people decide to jump off the top of the building. Just readily decide to jump off the top of the building, which of course you have Superman kind of wondering, what in the world is going on? Why is everyone jumping off the building for? And so you actually have him change into Superman and begin the process of actually saving all of these people. But while he is saving all of these people, they continue to try to jump off the roof of the building. And so again, it's kind of like, what in the world is going on? Now, once he's able to finally have everyone calm down, he does use his X-ray vision to get a better look at them to see if there could be anything wrong with them. Of course, he can't find anything. And so he's wondering, what in the world is going on? Why all these people just decided to jump off the building for? Now, we do jump over to Star Labs. Now, of course, Star Labs is one of the best laboratories in DC Comics. Usually, they're the ones to kind of figure out different science problems that are going on in the Earth, but to also help different heroes figure something out that involves science. But either way, we come to find out that Star Labs is holding Hector Hammond. Now, before the New 52, Hector Hammond was really a Green Lantern villain. But in the New 52, DC was trying to use him with other superheroes, like right now, Superman. Matter of fact, this is his first appearance in the New 52. Now, the reason why we pick up with Hector Hammond is because he is going to play a very important role for this storyline and the next one, which is Psi War. But either way, you do have them say that Hector Hammond is asleep and in his coma. Now, I do want to mention one more thing about Hector, because we have no idea if his origin is still the same at this point in the New 52 like it was in the pre-New 52. Because in the pre-New 52, the reason why his head is so big is because he was basically nearby some alien tech, which of course made him very smart, but it also gave him psychic abilities and made his head kept getting bigger and bigger. But we have no idea in the New 52 that is still the same thing. Now, we do jump over to Orion, and let's not forget, at the beginning of our video, he was called away by his father, the High Father, the leader of the new gods, to come to the prophecy wall. Now, the reason why he called his son here to the prophecy wall is to show him something very important, to say that the universe could possibly die. And the reason why it could possibly die is all because of Superman. That something is going to happen with Superman that could possibly lead to the death of the universe. And so right now it's Hive Father telling his son, you need to stop or kill Superman before the universe just dies. Now, when we jump into the next chapter, we actually pick up with Superman fighting against a group of aliens known as Solarians. Now, the Solarians are really not important for this storyline, and the reason why I'm mentioning them is because what they can actually do, and honestly, I feel like they would be a great group of villains if someone sat down and wrote about them, because when it comes to Solarians, they have the ability, or they are covered in red sun particles. Now, when it comes to a red sun usually depowers Superman. And so with them being covered in red sun particles, while Superman is fighting against them, he is slowly losing his powers against them, which of course does make the fight very hard for him. But apparently Superman saw them coming and he had a plan set for them right before they crashed on Earth. And that is the moment a bunch of water just floods the area that they were in, and you have Superman use his frost breath as a way to freeze the water to trap them inside. And honestly, that is how he defeats them. Now, he does realize they could possibly have some kind of space station that he needs to deal with. But the problem is, when he goes out there and finds it, he now knows that he is going to be late to his date. His date is of course Wonder Woman, and they plan on going to Lois Lane and her new boyfriend's housewarming party. Now, while Superman is out there dealing with that spaceship, that means that Wonder Woman has to go to the housewarming party by herself and stay there until Superman shows up. Now, that is a huge problem, because we saw in earlier videos that Superman does get really bothered when it comes to Lois Lane dating other men. But by this point in DC Comics in the New 52, he had technically moved on and started dating Wonder Woman, which in reality, I really feel like I should cover that series, because honestly, even though it was a mixed reviews of Superman dating Wonder Woman, I still like most of the stories. But either way though, you do have Lois Lane trying to be nice to Wonder Woman, but at the same time, even though Lois Lane has a boyfriend, you could tell she does kind of have some kind of love towards Clark Kent, more than a friend. But also, it is still awkward to see Wonder Woman there by herself at this housewarming party without Superman being there, and of course her interacting with all of his friends and co-workers at the same time. Now, we do get a page to remind us that Hector Hammond is going to play a role in this storyline. And the reason why I say we only get a page, because you do have Star Lab scientists trying to save his life, because for some reason he's beginning to flatline, and they have no idea why he is flatlining for, because he was just fine, he was just asleep and having a dream, and now he's flatlining. What in the world is going on with him? But getting back over to the housewarming party, this is where things begin to get very weird for Superman. Because when he arrives and opens the door, well, he sees Lois Lane in a Wonder Woman outfit. And the way she is talking to him is kind of like she wants to basically bang him. And you're wondering what in the world is going on. This is her housewarming party that she just got a house with her brand new boyfriend. Why is she hitting on Clark Kent? Why is she in a Wonder Woman outfit? But digging into the next page, and we come to find out that something is messing with the mind of Superman, because now he's seeing Lois Lane normal again, but when Lois Lane is talking to him, she's still kind of talking to him like, oh, they're friends, but between the lines, she's kind of hinting that, hey, I want you more than a friend. Matter of fact, I love you so much. And you're kind of like, what in the world is going on here? Now, getting back over to Star Labs, you do have the Star Labs scientist still trying to save his life. He's beginning to flatline. He's about to go brain dead. But that is the moment you have Orion appear. Now, with Orion appearing here, it does seem like that he's about to kill Hector Hammond. And the question is, though, why in the world is he trying to kill Hector Hammond for? Why is he trying to kill him? And that is the moment you have some of the scientists tell Orion that it's not okay for him to try to kill someone who is already brain dead. And that is the moment you have Orion kind of think, wait a second, you're saying he's brain dead? Well, this guy right here is a very powerful psychic. There is no way he is just brain dead. And so that is the moment he tells Mother Box to take him to see Superman. And the reason why, because possibly, just possibly, Hector's mind is in the body of Superman. But getting back over to the housewarming party, we do pick up with Superman still trying to talk to different people at the party. So like Lois Lane's boyfriend, whose name I keep forgetting about, Perry White, and even Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, and Lois Lane too. But while the party is going on, he does realize that people are saying some crazy wild things where they usually wouldn't say that. And even if they have those feelings, they still wouldn't say that. So like prime example, there's a page where Lois Lane does even ask Superman to make out with her. And he's kind of like, okay, maybe I should, even though I have a girlfriend named Wonder Woman and you have a boyfriend. And so it's showing that somebody is playing with the minds of all the friends of Superman, but also playing with the mind of Superman. Because even though Lois Lane asked him to make out, you would think that he'll be like, no, I have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, we should not do that. But he's kind of like, hey. And there's also other moments where Perry White is kind of being very sarcastic and rude towards Superman at the same time. And so you're wondering what in the world is going on. And when he's finally able to get to the woman he cares for, which is Wonder Woman, and when it seems like he's about to have some alone time with her, well, that is the moment he is grabbed by something or someone. And that person that had grabbed him is no other than Orion. Because even though Orion saw Clark Kent, he knew that Clark Kent was Superman. And so Orion just grabbed Clark Kent, threw him in the bay of Metropolis, and have him change into his Superman outfit so that Orion can finally fight against Superman. Now, Superman has never met Orion at all, but he's kind of like, what in the world is going on? And you have Orion say, listen, Superman, I have to kill you to basically save the universe. Now, when we jump into the third chapter of this storyline, we pick up with Superman's dream. And the reason why you know it is a dream is because Jonathan and Martha Kent are there. Because in the New 52, they both had died at Superman's prom night. And so with them being there right now and kind of hanging out with Superman in a possible future of Metropolis, you can just tell right off the bat that all of this is not real. On top of that, Superman is married. He's not married to Lois Lane nor Wonder Woman. He's married to Lana Lane. And that right there is kind of like, okay, now we definitely know that this is some kind of dream because Lana should not be here and Martha and Jonathan should definitely not be here at all. But either way, here they are. Now, while you have Superman kind of living in this dream world, that is the moment he hears a voice calling out of him and his dream just shatters, which means that he is waking up. And he is woken up by Orion because remember, at the end of the last chapter, Orion technically kidnapped Superman and made him be Superman so they could fight against one another because to Orion, Superman is most likely going to kill the entire universe. And so right now you have these two characters fighting against each other. Now, this is another new thing for Superman in the New 52. Yes, he did fight Darkseid, and Darkseid was technically his first new god in the New 52 era. But for Orion, this is their first time fighting against them, and Superman has not fought against a new god since Darkseid, and that was technically 5 or 6 years ago from this point in DC Comics. But either way, you do have these two characters fight against each other for a long period of time in this book. They go back and forth, and this is kind of showing that Superman is strong, but Orion is also strong. He is a new god, and most likely the two of them at this point in DC Comics are at the same level. And so with that being said, you do have this fight last for a good period of time, to the point where you actually have Superman just drop a whole Navy ship right on top of Orion, hoping that would actually stop him. Now, this is where things get a tad bit awkward, because then you have Wonder Woman appear. And remember, at this point in DC Comics, these two characters, Superman and Wonder Woman, are dating one another. But either way, she does appear because she saw the fight happening in Metropolis from the home of Lois Lane and realized that her man needs her help. And so she goes over there. He's kind of like, hey, it's nice to see you. Listen, I'm fighting someone who's basically almost as powerful as me. This could be a huge problem for us. And that is the moment you have Orion appear again. But when he does appear, well, Wonder Woman and Orion had apparently kissed one another. And so this is where things get a tad bit awkward for Wonder Woman, because kind of like your ex-fling is here while you have your new man here as well. So it's kind of awkward for her, but technically with her being here, it does stop Orion from fighting against Superman. Now, you do have Superman, Wonder Woman, and Orion come together and talk about what in the world is going on. And with the help of Orion and Wonder Woman, they come to find out that Hector Hammond is actually using his psychic abilities to hide in the body of Superman. Because again, Superman is technically the most powerful being on Earth. And so he was hiding his body or his mind in the mind of Superman. And so you have Orion realize why the prophecy wall that he was at earlier with the Hive Father said Superman could most likely end the universe. Because with Hector controlling the mind of Superman, he could technically wipe out the universe. So with that being said, you have Orion use the mother box to kind of get Hector out of the mind of Superman and put Hector back in his own body again, and hoping that everything should be okay now for Superman, Wonder Woman, and also Orion and Hector as well. Except things do get worse for Superman. And matter of fact, we're not going to see this part right here be played out in this video. What I mean is, remember, in the dream world of Superman, he had both his parents and he was married to Lana Lang. Except you do see that Lana Lang is actually alive. That she somehow escaped the dream world and now she's in the real world. Now this dream world Lana Lang could possibly lead into more problems for Superman and the rest of the superhero community down the road. We have no idea. But either way, this person is now out there and she somehow escaped the dream world. Now, when we jump into the 4th chapter of this video, we actually pick up with the birth of the Hive Queen and a new organization in DC Comics known as Hive. Now, this is not really a new organization, it's just new for the New 52 era. Now, we actually saw Hive back in our last Superboy video we did a couple weeks ago, where he fought against Psycho Pirate and Dr. Psycho, those two characters having close connection to Hive. But this is technically the creation of Hive, which means that this storyline takes place right before that storyline we did 2 weeks ago. But either way, this is Hive coming alive, which means that right now they're going to go around collecting the different people who are very powerful in the psychic field. And so right now you have the Hive Queen tell her Hive members, your first mission is to capture Hector Hammond. We need him for our future goals. And matter of fact, when we jump over to Star Labs and we see them trying to keep Hector Hammond in his coma so that he will not wake up and use his psychic abilities, well, the different scientists in that room begin to be taken over by Hive. And of course, that means that they're going to help Hive be able to actually capture Hector Hammond. But picking up with Clark Kent, we actually see him right now in Gotham City. Chinatown, Gotham City. And the reason why, because he was called by someone, and then someone has a big story. Now, if Clark Kent is able to get that big story, it would help out his new blog website that he had made with Cat Grant. But either way though, that is the moment a gun is pointed towards Clark Kent. And of course, he begins to freak out because he's wondering if he should change into Superman or just go along with this whole situation. But either way, this is the person that actually called him. And this person tells Superman, hey, listen, I have a big story for you. My first question is, what do you know about the 20? Now, we heard about the 20 in our last Superman video, Superman Annual number 2, where Lois Lane was going around and investigating the 20 missing people in Metropolis that went missing right after Brainiac had attacked. And so with that being said, you actually have this random person tell Clark Kent, you need to look into the 20. The 20 are a very huge story the world should know about. And one person you should probably look at the most is Senator Hume. And Senator Hume is, of course, the same man we saw in our last video that Lois Lane talked to. But on top of that, Senator Hume was the one who felt like the U.S. military or the U.S. country government should be able to go into the Fortress of Solitude because what happened in the Hell on Earth event. And so this is Clark Kent wondering, what in the world has he been pulled into? Now, getting back over to Star Labs, we actually see that right now you have the members of Hive, or the members of Star People who was taken over by Hive, begin the process of trying to take Hector Hammond away. Now, you do have the security forces of Star Labs try to stop them before they are able to get away with Hector Hammond. But of course, they are unable to actually stop them, and so Hive was able to grab the one person they wanted to grab. Here comes the big problem though. When you have those Hive members trying to escort Hector Hammond back over to the base of Hive, well, that is the moment we kind of find out that there is a loose wire. And with a loose wire going around or swinging around in the sewers, sooner or later, that cord is going to fall in the water. And when it does, it's going to cause a short circuit to the mind of Hector Hammond. And matter of fact, that's what happens. That loose wire hits the water, bam. That's the moment you have Hector Hammond wake up. And with him waking up, it's going to cause a lot of problems for Hive, but also for Metropolis and Superman as well. Because he is one of the most powerful psychics in the world. I had a hard time talking there, but he is one of the most powerful psychics in DC Comics. And now with him awake, it could lead to a lot of problems for Metropolis here in a minute. Now, with Hector Hammond being awake, of course, that leads into more problems for Superman. And the reason why I say that is because you have Superman right now realizing that different people in Metropolis are acting strange because it is Hector Hammond using his psychic abilities, which he is one of the most powerful psychics in the world, on the different people in Metropolis. Even some of the friends like Lois Lane, are Jimmy Olsen, and even Perry White. They're all acting strange because of what Hector Hammond is doing, because of course he is now awake, and with him being awake, that gives him the chance to go around and cause a lot of problems in Metropolis. Now, he's not able to actually affect Superman. And the reason why, because Superman got some help earlier from Hector Hammond he got some help from Orion when Orion used the mother box to get rid of Hector Hammond. But either way, this is Superman realizing that something must be going on with Metropolis, but he has no idea who is causing the problem. Now, for the Hive Queen, she just got word that her plan failed, that basically right now, Hector Hammond is on the loose, and with him being on the loose, that means that of course now he is going to come after her. And so right when she walks outside of her office trying to think of a new plan to recapture Hector Hammond, well, that is the moment she comes to find out that he is already there at the base. He made it there to their base, and now he wants to talk to her, and possibly, most likely, is gonna try to do something to her to begin the Psi War. Now, when we get into the final chapter of this story, we actually get into the idea of seeing Hector Hammond fight against the Hive Queen in a psychic battle. Now, you would think that this battle would be really interesting, but in reality, it's not. And not in a bad way, but in an interesting way. Because with the Hive Queen, yes, she is a powerful psychic, but she's not on the same level as Hector Hammond. With that being said, right now, he's able to actually kind of defeat her. And that is very huge to say, because honestly, you would think that they would be on the same level, but in reality, they are not. Now, we do pick up with Superman, and we see him right now kind of thinking about everything that had happened over the last couple days in this storyline, but also before this storyline as well. But he has just a feeling that something big is going to happen. In reality, he is correct. Something big is coming. He just has no idea what is coming his way. But when it does, it's going to cause a lot of problems for him and Metropolis for a good short period of time. But then we pick up with Superman right now being Clark Kent. Now, with him being Clark Kent, he's able to run into Cat Grant. Now, at this point, him and Cat Grant are actually going to work together on that blog and hopefully be the next big thing in Metropolis. But with that being said, though, you do kind of have her asking Clark, does he have anything big coming? On top of that, Clark can realize why she's asking that question, because she is broke. They both quit their jobs. Now for Superman, he does have some funding on the side to kind of help support him. But for Cat Grant, she has nothing. And she's pretending that she has some money, but in reality, she doesn't. And so with that being said, it's Clark Kent telling her, listen, I got a project going. I got a big paper coming. It's about the 20. Now she's kind of like, what in the world is the 20? And it's him saying, don't worry, you're going to find out very soon. Just give me some time to kind of break this story down, because this story is going to be very big. It's going to help us out a lot. But getting back over to Hector Hammond and also the Hive Queen in their psychic battle, we saw Hector Hammond being able to actually defeat her. Now you would think that this would be the moment where you have Hector Hammond actually kill her, or possibly just capture her. But that is the moment he realized that she is not even around. Yes, Hector Hammond is a better psychic than she is, but she's still able to do some kind of mind tricks on him so that she was able to get away, to live for another day, because she knows that she did not stand a chance against him. But of course, she is very angry because she did all of this apparently for her father. That right there is very key. She said her father. She built this Hive organization for him to go out there and capture the 20. But the question is though now, who in the world is her father? Now, that question does get answered for us very quickly. And the reason why I say very quickly is because when we jump back over to Superman, we actually see him right now seeing how Metropolis is being under attack by a bunch of different tentacles. Now, these different tentacles look very similar. And when I say similar, I mean they look like things that were used by Brainiac back in the beginning of the New 52, when Brainiac first came to Earth and attacked Metropolis. So with that being said, Superman realized, wait a second, this seems like a Brainiac attack. Did that madman come back to Metropolis to complete his goal? If he did, what in the world can I do? Now, we know it's technically not Brainiac, but of course you do have Superman jump in and try to stop all these different tentacles from attacking Metropolis, but of course he is knocked out. Now, when he is knocked out, he is grabbed by the Hive Queen. Now, this right here technically leads us right into the Psi War storyline, and we already covered all the tie-ins, which is Superboy, and that's really it. But you do have the Hive Queen capture Superman, and she tells us who her father is, quotation marks, that she did all of this for him, and her father is Brainiac. She's telling us that Brainiac is on his way back here, and if he comes back here, it is going to be a huge problem. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video, so please hit the like button down below and subscribe. But I'll see y'all next time in the next comic book video. Later, guys.